Today, we'll be taking a look at the upper drum bearing on this GE electric dryer. Be sure to visit ApplianceVideo.com, where you will find thousands of repair videos on the latest technology. And for a limited time, you can save big on an annual membership and take advantage of all of our premium benefits. ApplianceVideo.com. Do it right the first time. Stop. Before beginning any repair, always be sure to disconnect the power to the appliance. It is also recommended to test the outlet for the proper voltage. You will need the following tools to complete this repair. We've accessed the rear of the unit, and to begin, we must first lift the console here. It's held on by 2 1/4-inch screws. And then, what I want you to do is kind of pop it back. So hit it a little bit on this edge, hit it a little bit on this edge, and then gently roll the console back. We have 2 Phillips screws that are holding on the top here. Take this one off. Take this one out. You're going to bring the console back up, kind of lock it in place here. Now, let's return to the front of the unit. Now that we're back at the front, let's go ahead and open the door here. And then we have 2 Phillips screws that are under the front lip that'll have to be taken out. Take this second one out and set it to the side. Next, we need to remove the front panel. In order to do so, you're going to lift up on the top panel and just push it back a little bit. And then underneath, we have 2 1/4-inch screws, one here and here, that have to be taken out. When removing the second one, just make sure you put your leg on the front so that it does not fall forward. Remove the screw. Then we're going to pull the front forward a little bit, disconnect the light Molex, drop it down. Inside we have 2 more Molexes. You have this one here that have to be pinched and disconnected. Move this plastic back and get on the underside and remove this other Molex. Pull that out, pull forward and lift up off the frame and set the front to the side. Now that we have the front removed and set to the side, we have clear access to the drum bearing kit, which is on the front of this unit. Your drum sits on top of it and glides across these glides, and that's what keeps it silent. The main reason why you need to replace this would be if it's making a squealing noise. A lot of times what I'll find is I'll take the front off and I'll find that these glides are completely gone or wore down and the drum is rubbing against the plastic. If this is the case, it will need to be replaced. Now, when replacing it, you need to start to remove these 2 Phillips screws in the front. Now, we will lay it down in order to remove the bearing assembly. Now that we have the unit placed on the ground and on a protected surface, we can start to remove the actual bearing assembly here. Now, to do so, you'll have to lift up on the top to remove these little clips. Pull up and out on the drum bearing assembly. We have 1 harness here that'll have to be taken off, a little strain reliever. Pop that through and set the bearing to the side. When installing a new drum bearing, you need to make sure that the metal insert is properly inserted in here and that it's pushed all the way down. This is key to getting it on. So while you're putting it on, make sure you hold that metal bracket in. And then we are going to start on the sides and start to push these in. And as you're pushing them in, you may have to push one side in and then go to the other side, but push over this lip here and then under this back lip in order to get it into position. And then we're going to start to drop it down. You do have to make sure that the metal is placing inside the drum bearing, so you have to push in on the metal here and maybe around to push it in place. Clip it in, reinstall the strain reliever on the top here. Now we can reinstall the screws. Now that we have the unit propped up, make sure the clips are still in. Let's reinstall the 2 Phillips screws on the front. Now we can reinstall the front panel. When reinstalling your front panel, first we are going to bring it in and set the bottom front on the stakes of the frame. And then I want you to reach in and reconnect your Molexes inside the front. Put that one in, and of course reattach the shield. Slide that Molex back on. And then lift up on the drum and slide the front on. It should line up pretty well. Make sure you get a screw. Attach the first one. Let's go ahead and attach the second one here. We'll lift up and reconnect our light Molex. Push the front down in the back, slide forward, and drop it in place. Now we can reinstall the screws. Now, when reinstalling your bottom screws, you have to be very careful. I recommend starting it in and slowly trying to get to the exact spot that you need to get to where it starts to draw in the top. Once we get one side lined up, let's start to do the same to the other side. Draw it down, draw it down. Now let's return to the back of the unit. Now that we're back at the rear of the unit, let's start by slapping the console back. Pull it off here and let it fall down. Then let's put our Phillips back in, start them by hand, and then use the drill. Let's look inside, put the other one in, tighten it up. Let's bring the console back up. And now when we're doing this, since this fell out, let's slide back in our wire holder. Bring the console up, reattach it and slide it forward. Let's reinstall the 2 rear 1/4 inch screws. And you want these to go in nice and smooth. If they start to cross thread, do not push it. And this will complete your repair. Thank you for watching another quality video from ApplianceVideo.com. If you found this video helpful, make sure you click the like and subscribe to our channel.